Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of TOFA Talks on PHLV, where we feature inspiring stories of Filipinos around the world. And for today's program, kasama po natin three pageant critics who covered the Miss Universe pageant in New Orleans. We are going to talk about last weekend's pageant results and future expectations at marami pang iba. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce them one at a time. He is a multi-awarded host and singer and CEO and owner of Euphoria Stars in Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Jules Gracer.
Hi, everybody. Kamusta?
He's
Thank you, Elton.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jules, for coming on the show. He's the founder and managing editor of Life and Style Central, a certified human rights consultant and educator, human resources practitioner, pageant trainer, coach, etc. Please help me welcome from Tampa, Florida, Raymond Goles.
Hello. Thanks for having me here.
And finally, is Brad here? Looks like he is. Oh, hi. Okay, let me go back. He is a longtime media practitioner from San Francisco, California, and his column "Scenes in the City" has been read read and followed by fans all over the world. Friends, please welcome Bradford Adkins from San Francisco. Hi, Brad. Hindi tayo naririnig. He's at the airport. And finally, she is a correspondent from Sash Factor International from Dallas, Texas. Friends, Jill Lasaka.
Thank you so much for inviting me here, Elja. And it's such a great honor to be part of the team that's going to do a post-pageant analysis. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Okay, we only have 30 minutes, guys, and I only prepared 5 questions because I'm sure marami tayong comments and answers dito. What can you say about Celeste's performance, and why do you think she didn't make the cut? Perhaps we can start with Bradford. You posted a cryptic message on FB. You said, and I quote, Philippines not in top 16. Who is to blame? And you had one job. What exactly do you mean by that?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I can categorically state that nobody is to blame, but I'm basically a mathematics person, and the top 16 is picked by the magic number, and the magic number is given to the judges, right? I think in the Philippines failed the cut because she did not make the number, and the first person who's supposed to help her make the cut is Olivia, who was able to judge, I believe, and I can confirm that she was late in the preliminaries for the top 16 is being picked, and she did a job giving out the score and Miss Olivia is from Philippines, and she wasn't able to give her the score. So basically, I'm saying that had Miss that successfully in the score for Philippines, she would have been Celeste for the in the top 16.
All right. How about you, Mon?
For me, it's obvious that she was given a kind of training or probably some kind of a mindset that it's been all around the internet that one of her or some of her trainers said that know when to pick. What I observed during the preliminary competition is that her performance was way beyond what she showed during her Miss Universe Philippines stint. I've seen personally that she was so fierce, that the attitude in her shows that she wants to win. And it's something that's lacking during the preliminary because the preliminary would be the basis for you to get into the top 16. And I don't understand how how that kind of performance was changed if you're already in the international arena, especially Miss Universe. And I believe that some of this would probably, I don't want to say blame, but would direct pointly to the team that handles her training, that handles her preparation. And I think that it's quite different. No, it's actually very different, fairly different from who prepared her for the MUPH, for the Miss Universe Philippines victory, compared to her preparation for the Miss Universe, the international pageant. So, um, but basically, if she is just, I don't know, she looks so tired. She looks so not giving her full energy. So if the fans or if the audience have noticed that, so how much more for the judges during the preliminary. And also at the same time, we didn't have any idea on what really transpired during the closed door interview. Um, hopefully she did well. I heard that, you know, the results of the interview, they said that she was confident enough with the result. And well, we don't know how they were given the judgment based on the actual result of the closed door interview. So
Thanks, Mon. Do you agree, Jules?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because I was like, people are thinking that, oh, I think to be fair to Celeste and to her team, it was just overall a very strong batch of candidates, right? So I'm sure everybody wanted to win and everybody was trying to put their best foot forward. And so, and in going back to what Raymond was saying about knowing when to peak, um, I think for the most part, she really did her part for the preliminaries. However, I did notice that the swimsuit is a little bit underwhelming. Maybe because we have so much high expectations because every year Miss Philippines we're kind of used to uh, seeing Miss Philippines really rock the preliminaries, right? And to put that burden on Celeste because she has to continue that legacy, you know, that every year we're it's almost like a certainty that a Miss Philippines has to be part of the semifinals, right? So maybe all of this she was thinking it was just going through her mind. The swimsuit, I was a little bit underwhelmed, if I'm being 100% honest. But during the evening gown, she blew me away. And I love the gown. There were a lot of gold, there were a lot of pink, but her color I think is unique. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she was the only one. So she stood out for me during the evening gown competition. Uh, Again, closed door interviews, we have no idea what happened there. So I heard it's like 60% of the score,
The
right?
prelim-
So yeah, so it was wow. Okay, that's probably where all of these top 16 candidates really emerged victorious. And you would notice that even Miss Laos. Okay, I was the only. I went on live a few hours before I went to the finals, right? And I gave my prediction for top 16. Miss Laos was part of that evaluation because I even told MJ. I was like, MJ, Miss Laos is a surprise for me. And so when I was at the media center and then they announced Miss Laos, I was like, oh my God, I knew it. So and then when you heard her talk for the video, she's a very strong communicator,
Mhm.
right? So and Laos is traditionally not we don't expect that from no, but this year they sent a really strong candidate. So this year, really strong on the advocacies. Most of the candidates have a very strong, solid advocacy, and they can really talk. So again, we love Celeste. She did really well, but overall, it was just a very strong set of candidates this year.
Thank you, Jules. Jill, can you tell us what do you think went wrong? Why
Yeah, so I've always believed that post pageant analysis is very important because it really makes us look at what went wrong, what went right, what are things that can be done in the future. So before I give my analysis, I just want to put it in bold print that I admire Celeste. I think having the honor of representing the country is such a great responsibility. And this is not to bash her or the team, but there are things that needs to be assessed. So there are different ways that I would see it. First and foremost, I would say like this year, when I did my assessment, I did not just, and me with me as a correspondent, I usually just look beyond the physical attributes. So when I started reading each of their advocacy and then I followed their interviewed, and I knew that Celeste was not going to be in my top 5. So for the record, I accurately corrected 5 out of 5 of the finalists. And I place Celeste in the lower one because here's my belief. Okay, there's no doubt about it that she looks very beautiful. She's one of the most facially beautiful candidate we've ever seen. But I knew that her communication skill what needs a lot of improvement. She has been trying, I know, and she has recognized that she's been trying to speak English very well. And
She learned the language only in the Philippines now when she moved
yes.
from
Mhm.
Italy to.
So I knew from that background itself, the fact that she recognizes and that she will struggle in the interview. And this year, with the new idea of the emphasis by Miss Anne, the new owner, on transformational leadership, I knew that they were gonna delve deeper into the advocacy, into the ability of a woman to confront the challenges of the community, and she's gonna raise up. And I've also noticed that throughout her reign, I did not see a lot of advocacy the way Miss Venezuela had spoken about her advocacy for the Voice for America, the way Miss USA have spoken about using her talent to help and teach suing skills to women of abuse. I did not see the way Miss Dominican Republic as a lawyer in Washington has fought for minority rights. So from that very standards of the quality of very well accomplished women, I knew that she was not going to be at par. And this year also, we have this is one of the strongest top 5 ever. Everyone there was so difficult to dislodge. I mean, you have to basically excel 10 out of 10 from the evening gown to the swimsuit competition. Personally, she underwhelmed me in the evening competition. I think she did well in the swimsuit competition, but I think there was the gown needs did not really represent the best of how she can be. But I knew she did her best. But this is a competition. The standards, we have an all-women panel, and I knew that the standard of the next beauty queen was gonna be more than just the height or the beauty. It was gonna go deeper, the mindset, the advocacy. And so I knew from the very beginning that she was not going to make it to the top 5.
Thank
But
you.
I felt that she could have made it to the top 16. That's what I will, my biggest hope.
Thank you,
But
Jay.
thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, how many of you are familiar with the scoring system for Miss Universe? We know that the top 16 were determined based on preliminary scores,
Yes.
competitions in onstage swimsuit and evening wear, plus the one-on-one interview with the panel. This year,
Plus,
right? From 16, the field was cut into 5 agad-agad. What do you
Yes.
think of this sudden change? Fair ba ito sa mga semifinalists? Do you agree with this change? Let's hear from Jules.
Well, yeah, first of all, I was able to guess 4 out of 5. The only thing that dropped out of my top 5 was Miss Laos, because I was still impressed by the way she was rocking that stage on the semifinal. So yeah, I guessed everyone except for Miss Laos, and I wasn't expecting that. In fact, I chose her. Can you imagine? I chose her over Miss Puerto Rico. So
Wow.
yeah,
Your personal
so but
favorite.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's how I. But it's okay. It's okay. I guess I just wanted. She really surprised me that evening, and overall in the competition, that's why I put her in so much high regard. And so, but that's good. That's good. So I really personally, I heard that, and I read it somewhere that 60% of the
Right.
judging was based
Interview.
on the
Alex.
interview.
Uh-huh.
So maybe I'm assuming, but I don't know the rest. So I'm assuming it was split even 20% for swimsuit and evening gown. Because just like what Jill had mentioned, and that's a very good analysis, Jill.
Thank you.
Is that change
Yeah.
okay with you? The top six
Be,
from top 16 to top 5?
my gosh. Honestly, I was like, what when I heard about that? I was like, and you know what's so funny? I think I heard it from Celeste, in her interview with Diane. That's when they first mentioned it, and I was like, wait a minute, what? From 16 straight to 5, there's no 10 in the middle. What's going on here? It's
Mhm.
too drastic for me, but
Right.
I'm
Mhm.
very coachable and I'm very adaptive. So if that's what they wanted to do, then
Right.
that's what it is.
And
Mm-mm.
speaking of prelim interviews, we heard from Celeste herself that she did well. Because
Yeah,
this was
That's
the
what she
only
said.
part of the competition that we did not see, right?
yeah.
In
Elton, can I
interview.
say something?
Yes,
Um,
please.
Yeah, so I've heard that the interview was very critical in the decision making process because again, women judges tends to be highly critical. They've been judged. Women beauty queens have always been judged in a very critical way. So they
Mhm.
know that they were gonna look deeper into the
Mhm.
qualities, more than just the physical qualities. So while I did not, well, I thought that the category and the way they've cut the competition was so drastic, but again,
Yeah.
this is competition, and the organizations deserves the right to define, the way the mechanism of, cutting it from 84 down to 16 and then down to the fifth. I had no problem with that because at the end of the day, only the strongest and the brightest
Mhm.
and the most beautiful and the most confident will really make it.
Well said, Jill. How about you, Mond? Do you agree?
I actually agree with everything. It's just that one thing that also caught my attention is that okay, yes, we base everything from the result of the preliminary, but they also mentioned that um part of the the Miss Universe organization will also give the scores to the
Yeah.
overall ranking.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
I wonder how many percent that it goes. So is it
Mhm.
30% from the whole? So and who among from the Miss Universe organization would make the decision on that?
Do
Mhm.
How about
you-
how about probably I'm also thinking of the return of that quote unquote Trump picks, or would it be
Yeah.
Anne's pick?
Yes.
Would there be some kind of the same context on this
Approach.
matter?
Yes. Hmm.
Diba?
Hmm.
So
guys know if
we'll
the
never know.
scores,
She said
if this,
she'll not gonna contribute on whatever result, but I, I am not I am not giving on to that. For
so
sure,
Right.
she has.
for the
I know
final
that Miss
round,
Anne Miss Anne was interviewed right after, a few hours after, because there has been bashing. In fact, TMZ caught that story and published it, that there were allegations of
we're going to that later, Jill.
oh yes, but
That's part of my
my
question.
thing but
Okay,
my thing though is, as an owner, she has the right to decide who she wants to work with, and I
For
totally
sure, for
respect
sure.
that.
yeah,
um
I was gonna ask you guys if you know if the scores go back to zero once they reach the final round, which is the top three. You know?
That's what they've been telling.
mhm,
Yeah.
Everything goes back to zero. So whoever got the biggest
the best
shot
answer.
during the top five question and answer would get into the top three. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
basically, what I've seen there was whoever topped the interview,
Right.
obviously USA, Dominican Republic, and Venezuela did pretty well. Well,
Mhm.
Curacao and Puerto Rico was in a safer side of the competition, but obviously for me, USA really gave the strongest answer during the top five. So um,
No question to that.
hopefully that really transpired during the whole context of the judging stage. So
Right. Brad, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I mean, we are always going back to the top three, top five, but we are forgetting the main focus of this meeting to discuss why
Right.
Celeste did not make top 16. I mean, she will never be part of top five or top three because she never
Right.
made top 16. She was
Right.
never
Right.
given the chance. Kahit siguro magpatambling-tambling siya, she will never make it kasi wala nga tayong,
Walang
Mhm.
chance. Yeah.
Walang siya.
wala nga, kasi hindi nakaupo si Miss O. The
Yeah.
very person na magbibigay sa kanya ng push si Miss O, wala. Kaya kahit magpatambling-tambling pa siya, she will get zero.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
Thank you.
Guys, the Miss U, let's move on. The Miss U org is facing another allegation, no? Jill, you mentioned this earlier, allegation of rigged results, saying that Arbonne is not the rightful winner. Why do you think kaya this is happening again? I mean, we're all there. We witnessed Arbonne's performance on stage and during interviews, and it's so devastating. Now here we are celebrating, yet some people don't seem to agree with the results. Anong take nyo dito?
Can I start?
Yes, please, Jill.
Yes. So, always remember that, the online attracts many of the fans from those candidates that did not win. So if you look at the comments that were coming there, the ones that disagreed with the choice of Miss Arbani as Miss Universe came from the fans of Colombia, Venezuela, and they have every right to be upset and to be, to raise a raucous. But at the end of the day, like any other thing, we have to learn to accept defeat if our candidates do not, and just support. I'm sure Arbany represents the new woman that could really fulfill the role of being a transformative leader. And as a fan, as a pageant fan, we need to accept reality that there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers.
You're addressing this to the fans of Venezuela and
Yeah,
who's the other? Dominican, right? Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. Yes.
You want to add, Raymond?
yeah, during the finals, I was actually seated in the section where I was surrounded by Venezuelan fans. I think I'm the only one cheering for USA that time. And I was overwhelmed
Yeah.
with so much energy, with the enthusiasm that they showed.
Hindi na natin
But
marinig
at the
yung
end of
issue eh.
yeah,
Everybody
at
was
the end of the
yelling.
night, when USA was called, they were all they,
Right.
natahimik sila. uh, I believe it just came from people that cannot move on. Like
Yeah.
what we mentioned earlier, like
Mhm.
yung opening statement mo, or Elton, that you asked us, have you moved on already?
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people that haven't moved on.
Yeah.
Even during the time of Pia Wurtzbach, I've talked to a lot of Latino fans. They haven't moved on. But on the other side of it, they love Catriona Gray. So
Mhm.
it would only show that, you know, people would just make stories. It's
Right.
very easy to make stories right now. We have social media. It's very easy to spread fake news and to make some allegation that doesn't have any basis at all.
Mhm, mhm.
And the fact that people would just claim that it was rigged, it was manipulated. If you were there during the finals, you could clearly say that that didn't happen.
Correct.
So for me,
Okay.
I was there. I can firmly say that it was judged fairly and fair enough,
And
and the result was obviously the best that the judges could make. And I admire how the judges stood up for the result. So
Thank you, Mon. We have a few minutes left, guys. This year, the Miss U org opened its contest for the first time sa mga married women and mothers. And Arbony, when asked if she were to add anything, she would raise the age limit daw. Arbony is the oldest, we know that, 28 years old, contestant and winner. And now, the new owner, a trans woman, many say there's a strong possibility that a lot of trans women will be encouraged to join the pageant. Your thoughts on this, Raymond? I mean,
There might
Jules.
be. Personally, um, it's a new era that we are talking about here. It's just in a matter of how this people from the trans community would really be should I
Embrace.
say persevering in terms of really getting into the stage of Miss Universe. It happened during 2018 already when Miss Spain won. Um, but I'm pretty still kind of old school on this matter. If you would ask me personally,
Mhm.
there is an existing pageant for the trans women, the Miss International Queen. They are very it's also a very prestigious beauty pageant. But if they would really, I mean, go for it, I think it would matter depends on the national directors of each countries. I believe the Miss Universe Philippines is not considering that. So it would matter depending on how accepting the national directorship of each country, the one who's organizing um the Miss Universe in their own countries. So
Just remember that
I think
Yeah.
we still have countries who are not in favor, who are not
Yeah.
accepting the
there's
LGBT.
a lot, I
There's a
don't
lot.
think Bahrain.
Mhm.
Like we have Bahrain who's very new into this in their participation in Miss Universe, and I don't think Bahrain would produce a trans winner and and,
Yeah.
and the Senate trans winner. There are
Mhm.
conservative countries who's not into that idea, especially
Mhm.
Indonesia.
Thank you, Mon. Very,
Right.
very,
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
briefly, Jill.
Yeah.
Your
So
thoughts on that.
personally, we've seen how, Miss Spain, who is a trans woman, participated, and there wasn't no adverse effect. To me personally, the Miss Universe is really about the celebration of women from all walks of life, from different shapes and age and forms. And to me, it's not just the best trans woman, it's the best woman, the best human being who has a strong advocacy for changing and transforming her community that's going to win. So I have no issue if, a woman older than this, although there are things that we want to keep. And I think change always invites fear and anxiety. But at the end of the day, Miss Universe is such a strong organization. They will crown who deserves to be crowned, someone who's beautiful inside and out. And I think I rest my case on that.
Okay, thank you, Jill. This question, you can just pick one. It has two versions. What changes do you like to see in the Miss Universe Philippines pageant system para mas lumawak ang chance to win ng mga representatives? That's local. And for here, changes that you want to see in the Miss Universe scoring system para mas fair ang playing field.
Mhm. You want me?
Jules?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll answer both. Very briefly though, because I know you're pressed for time. So for the Philippines, I think when they're looking for a candidate, we should understand that times are changing for the Philippines. While everybody may not be adept to speaking English as their first language, right? So we have to be open to just like other countries. And this is not degrading the capability of Filipinos to speak English. All right. That's nothing to do with that. But not many, and I'm noticing it as well, because obviously I interact with Filipinos. It's not, it's kind of, so some people are more confident, even though they have a full grasp of the English language. Some people are confident to speak it in their native tongue. So we should try to encourage that as well. And then candidates should not be afraid of even getting a translator. Remember, Ion Perez won that competition with a translator, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think it should be, there should not be a stigma to that. That's a minor change. That's a minor change. Now for the international pageant, I think 60% was a bit drastic for me because Miss Universe, yes, I understand that she has to have very good communication skills,
Mhm.
but at the same time, she also has to be beautiful, right? It is a beauty pageant after all. So probably just try to put it at 50% and 25-25 versus 60 and 2020, if that's what happened.
Okay,
Okay.
Jill.
Yeah, I would like the Miss Universe Philippine organization to really look at a closer look at the quality of the candidates that they're choosing. I think there has to be a strong emphasis on communication skills. The competition has changed. You cannot just send the tallest and most beautiful person. You need to have a complete package. Someone who speaks her mind, who can articulate her issues, who can compete toe to toe, so that the criteria has to really be revamped for the Miss organizations, and they really need to focus and really focused on nurturing, making sure that these women are ready to compete and really compete hard. And so with the international organization, I think we just want a clear understanding of the rules so that there's gonna be that's going to limit any issues on whether there's rigging or whether there's favoritism. But I truly understand that the Miss Universe is a business organization, and we cannot take away from the owner the right to have an input on who she would want to work best. So I think, again, let's just celebrate what's great about this pageant and work on those kinks and make sure that we crown the best winner.
Mhm. Brad, can you touch on these biracial reps from the Philippines? Some people, some fans are saying na hindi daw ito fair for full-blooded Filipinos na we're getting imports from other countries para ma-assure ang ating place sa Miss
Well,
Universe competition.
well, can you hear me? Well, we are the most diverse
Yeah.
race kasi we're all over 200 countries in the world. Every country in the world, there's a Filipino na namamayagpag, di ba? There's a Filipino na married to a foreigner. So we are the most favored when it comes to biracial qualifications sa mga entries. So let's not go into that kasi sa ating favor yung yung biracialism. Marami tayong mga hyphenated Filipinas na maapektuhan kung tatanggalin yun or papalitan yun, kung re-restrictuhan yun, di ba? So I am in favor for biracialism or multiracialism na mga candidates kasi this is Miss Universe. Miss Universe is a representation of the whole world. Paano mo i-restrict yung criteria into a certain blood lang? Lahat naman tayo unique in our own right. Tama yung sinasabi ni Arboni na we each have our own quality and we each uniqueness na pwede nating i-develop na invest sa community to effect change. So she was right on the money on that one. So I agree with her. And I also agree with her in rising up the cutoff sa age. Kasi ang dami, it's not the age naman that matters for me. Kasi may mga taong late na di-develop yung physicality. May mga babaeng late na di-develop din yung kanilang pag-iisip. So age is just a number. I mean, agree ako again kay Arboni na erase yung age limit. So there you go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brad. And finally, guys, last question. If you were to give advice to Filipino pageant aspirants in the Philippines, please tell us. And also, what are your expectations from the new Miss Universe, Arboni Gabriel, who happens to be Filipino-American? So dalawa yan. Advice to Filipino pageant aspirants and advice that you can give or expectations, from our new Miss Universe, Arboni Gabriel.
Do you want me to start?
Sure, Jules.
So, for as far as advice for the Miss Universe organization in the Philippines, I think they're already doing a phenomenal job. Okay, so it's not really more of an advice, it's more of a comment. They're not, it's just a very strong candidate overall. And we don't expect that we're always going to be there, right? That's one. So they just keep doing what they're doing. A lot of the other countries, if they're not doing so well, then how come other countries are even sending their candidates to be trained in the Philippines, right? So they're doing an amazing job. They just keep to keep on doing what they're doing. And never mind, there's another year, just like what Catriona said. So today was not our this year was not the Philippines year. So next year will be, right? Who never I'll play devil's advocate here. Maybe next year the winner will come from the
Message to
Philippines
Arbany.
again. Right.
Any
Message
message
to
to Arbany?
Arbany. We love you. Thank you so much for representing. She's really genuine. During the press conference, I had the pleasure of asking the final question for her, and
Mhm.
she answered it really well. And just to give you a quick trivia, I spoke to her mom the night before because my co-dentist in the Philippines, I used to have a dental office in the Philippines. So apparently Arbony's parents go to my co-dentist. So if I were still in the Philippines, if I were still a dentist based in the Philippines, I would have had the privilege of having her dad and her mom as my patients as well. But anyways, Arbony, you're amazing, and thank you. It was still a win for the Philippines, I dare say, right?
Thank you, Jules. Anong expectations mo, Brad, for Arbany
Yeah,
sa kanyang
I'm cele-
one-year reign?
I'm actually celebrating for her win because I am privy to the information that most of her team, her people around her, like her favorite photographer and her favorite shoemaker, all are Filipinos. She
Mhm.
loves ensaymada, and then she's looking forward to traveling to the Philippines, and
Mhm.
she's looking forward to future projects that involve Filipinos working with her. So I have really high expectation for the year ahead with Arbony. And as I would say again and again, I am celebrating with her win. Thank you.
Raymond, advice that you can give to our Filipino
To the
aspirants?
pageant aspirants, I would want to say that if you really want to join beauty pageants, you have to imbibe it in yourself. You have to like it. You have to put it in your mind and in your heart that this is what I really want to do. I personally do pageant coaching, I do pageant training, and this is what I always tell the girls. You have to make sure that you want it.
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
to put it in your mind that it's really what I want to do. And if you want to do it, you have to make sure that at the end of the night of the competition, you know to yourself that you gave your all, and it's also about your persistence and determination for you to win. And for Arbony, I am celebrating at the very onset of the Miss Universe competition. I've been very bold that she is my top bet. After she won Miss USA, I believe that with her victory in Miss Universe, she vindicated herself. She proved to the world that, hey, I deserve this.
Mhm.
This is where I am destined to be. And yeah, just like Jules, I also spoke with her mom and dad the night before, and they were positive people. You wouldn't hear anything negative, and
Right.
the support that they gave to Arbany was something that a parent would really go the extra mile. They went to the Philippines to get the national costume because there was a problem in sending it to America. That's very admirable. And in for their age, they're already senior citizens. It's pretty challenging. So
Thank you,
I
Mon.
believe that Arbony is reaping all the prizes for all her hard work,
Her
and we're
labor.
ex- we're all
Yes.
we're all excited for her reign to start.
Thank you. Jill, what do you like to see in Arbany's reign? What do you like for her to do during her
Yes.
1 year term?
So Arbony's victory is really a testament of a woman, or any human being who have overcome obstacles, challenges, scandals, tragedy, and rise above that. So I think her victory speaks of that strength. It speaks of that resilience. It speaks of that woman who believes that her dreams are very important, and nothing can ever take that away from her. And so I'm very excited, and I have great expectations that she's gonna continue to embrace her Filipino culture, her Filipino heritage, and will do wonders for the Philippines and America, because even at the very start of her interview at the Good Morning America, she already was proud of her roots. So that bodes well for us, and it's a testament of the great things that we have done and contributed as a Filipino, whether you're half or full Filipino, to the pageant world. And I just want to emphasize, the score, the judges had spoken, and I think we have to respect the judges' decision, and let's just work harder for the next pageant. And there's more pageants to come, and we just have to embrace everything as part of the whole experience.
Right. There you have it, friends. We've heard from these Miss Universe correspondents. Raymond from Tampa, Florida. Jules from Los Angeles. Jill from Texas, Dallas, Texas. And Bradford from San Francisco. We wish Arbany the best of luck for her one-year term as Miss Universe. Thank you, everyone. Cheers. I want to thank my producer, Johan Saison, and see you at the next episode of Tofa Talks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.